So how was everybody beating inflation in the 1970s? So today we are diving into a My Money Wizard article to find out how people dealt with inflation in the 70s. If you're new around here, welcome. I'm Lena. On this channel, you will find money at home videos to help you spend less time on budgeting, more time on the things that you want while still reaching your financial goals. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing that little notification bell. So this Money Wizard article is reviewing a Life article that is about how Americans can beat inflation, and it was printed during the 1970s. And I think it is so interesting to learn from other times and see what strategies people were employing in different eras to help them beat inflation. As you may know, we're facing a little bit of inflation at the moment, so I'm always looking for new tips to overcome that. So the Life magazine reports that consumer costs have gone up 6.1% in the last year. And to me, that doesn't sound so bad based off what we are going through and the ridiculous cost of eggs. I normally don't buy super expensive eggs. I buy step up eggs, but I was looking at the super expensive eggs and it said 10. It said $10 for 1 dozen eggs. And I'm like, what? That's ridiculous. Okay, so according to CNN, eggs are 60% more expensive than they were last year. And that's why everyone is making all the memes about how expensive eggs are. This is a rate not seen since 1973. So this article that I'm looking at is super fitting because egg inflation is the same. I guess fortunately we have some people in my house allergic to eggs, so I'm the only one that is really eating eggs. But still, I eat a few eggs and they are so expensive. Mortgage rates in the 1970s were also 8.5%. This sounds familiar. I don't think we've quite gotten there quite yet, but we are on the verge of 8.5% for mortgages. My parents are saying that when they bought their first house, if you got under 10% interest on your mortgage, you got a great deal. And so really what's happened over the last few years is the interest rates have been incredibly low. And now they're raising back up again, and that can be really painful. The Life magazine suggests that maybe you should look into your rare stamp collection or your art collection and invest in some weird, quirky things that will hopefully turn a profit. I know that people buy designer handbags, and those appreciate over time, and then you can sell them for a profit later. So that's kind of like a 2023 quirky version of investing in strange things that still gain value, even if everything else is losing value. Now, this is super risky because you don't know what things are actually going to gain value and how that's going to go. So you're just going to buy a bunch of random stuff and hope it'll be valuable later. I'm not sure that's a good bet. So a lot of these tips that they are offering in the 1970s Life magazine are about cutting costs. And some of them you may have heard before. The first one is grow your own garden. I know that growing your own garden can be a good way to save money sometimes, but I'm very curious for someone to do an analysis on the time spent, the water costs, the opportunity costs, all those sorts of things. To see if it's actually a good use of your time to grow a garden. Learn DIY plumbing and sewing. I am all for this. Whatever things that you can fix around your house yourself can save you so much in labor costs. We do a lot of things ourselves, try to install whatever new things we can ourselves. And we try not to hire very many things out because that can be really expensive. This can be a great way to lower your costs for sure. cutting your hair at home. This sounds very 2020. So I actually cut all the hair in my house except for myself. So I've got 2 little boys and a husband, and we have those shears that you buy at Costco that go buzz, and we just buzz off their hair at home, and that saves us a lot of money. Their haircut is not fancy, but it does the job, and they look great. I have cut my own hair, and I think it's easier to cut your own hair if it's a little bit longer, because when it's shorter, things are more complicated and it's harder to reach everything. I do not cut my own hair. Someone else did it. I really enjoy getting my hair done, and it's worth it to me. But yes, you could save money if you cut your own hair. Have you ever cut your own hair? Leave your answer in the comments for me. Shopping at thrift stores and flea markets. So I guess these have been around since the 70s, and they can often save you money. Of course, we've all noticed the prices at Goodwill getting a little bit high because thrift shopping has become like a trend. So more people are doing it. But those garage sales can be a really great place to save money. We are always hitting those in the summer for the kids' clothes, because kids grow out of clothes all the time and they wear the clothes out. So that can be a big help. Next up is doing your own auto maintenance. So I'm actually married to an auto technician. So yes, we can do all our own auto maintenance. He normally just takes the cars to work because they have all the lifts and all the tools and stuff. So I think this is a little bit of a mixed bag in 2023 because cars have so many computers. It's like, it's not mechanical anymore. It's very technical. So they used to call them mechanics, but now they call them auto technicians because it's almost a tech job, because the biggest part is the diagnosis and figuring out which computer is talking wrong to the other computer and all the jazz. But in the 1970s, I think cars were a little bit simpler perhaps and didn't have quite so many computers running the show. So I think it could have been a lot more straightforward to fix your own car. So in the car department, yes, there are some things that you might be able to do yourself, but things can get complicated with all those computers. And then you have to buy the special tools and the scan tool, and that really adds up. And then sometimes you'll get stuck and then you have to tow it to the mechanic. And that's expensive too. So I guess buy a car that is known to not break down very often, take really good care of it, do your maintenance on it, and find a mechanic that you trust to tell you the truth and give you the right answers. We normally end up with cars that my husband is very used to working on because there's lots of different brands, but it's just easier for him to work on cars that he has all his technical training in. So we bought a Dodge Durango because, he's super familiar with that. This one is a little bit interesting and probably not practical for everyone, but they are saying that you should cross the border to Mexico, where you can find tomatoes at 7 cents a pound instead of 49 cents a pound. So if you are not on the border, this is probably not a reasonable solution. And we can't go for a long drive. And I don't know if that is still true. Are vegetables less expensive in Mexico? I don't know that. But that's kind of an oddball one. And then if that doesn't work, you can find a money doctor. So I guess in the 70s they called them money doctors, but I think now we might call them like a financial coach or a financial advisor. Kind of takes the place of that. I was like, what does that even mean? But these money doctors back in the 70s, it sounds like they had more leeway maybe, or there's less rules about what money doctors could do. So a money doctor might help you out by getting you on a financial plan. The doctor prescribed a 46 category budget. That seems excessive. That's a lot of categories to keep track of, which means it won't happen, which is not good. But the doctor thought that you should cut some of your spending categories, like how much you're spending on clothes and such. Also, this money doctor, I guess they gave them permission to their accounts, but like they took the paycheck from the person that was not managing their money well and then gave them an allowance like a kid. But this was a grown up, making really good money. So yeah, that's a little weird. I'm not sure I'd want my financial coach to be giving me an allowance. I thought this money doctor concept was so interesting. The article also contained some other generic advice about like save 10% of your income and don't overspend on your credit cards and use a list when you're shopping. So things that we've all heard before. So all of these tips are, I don't know if it can really qualify as fighting inflation. It's just like cut your costs so that you don't overspend. I think that's useful, and I think we are still trying to do that. Like, how can we cut costs so that we don't overspend? I think that's kind of the moral of the story, and it was the moral of the story in the 70s, and it's still the moral of the story today, because our own spending and our own income is the only thing that we really have control over. We don't have control over all those politics and regulations. The author of the Money Whiz article did add something about how you can beat inflation in the long run, and that is to buy assets as fast as you can. And I totally agree. That's a proactive way to beat inflation. I like to say that if you're not getting ahead, you're getting behind. So how can you invest? How can you buy real estate? How can you put more money in your Roth IRA? How can you get ahead of the curve as opposed to being swallowed by inflation? Share in the comments, what are your favorite inflation fighting tips? Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. I hope this brought value to you. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I hope to see you in the next one real soon. Bye for now.